Today, we're discussing why budgeting feels like torture for the ADHD brain and how to fix it. Forget the spreadsheets. We're using a money container system to automate boundaries and end the shame cycle for good. Welcome to The Distracted Dollar, the podcast where we talk about money through the lens of ADHD, real life, and real struggles. I'm Vanessa, your ADHD money coach, and we're here to move from chaos to control. I used to buy into the biggest lie about money, that budgeting is a test of willpower, that if I just disciplined myself harder, I could conquer any spreadsheet. But my ADHD brain always rebelled. It felt like being given a painter's palette and told to color within the lines of a budget spreadsheet, a creative mind confined to a grid it was never designed for. Because digital money is invisible, just numbers on a screen, it requires a massive amount of executive functioning to track and manage, which is why it's so difficult for ADHD brains. Executive functioning is like the CEO of our brains. It handles planning, focusing, and memory. And for those of us with ADHD, the CEO's battery drains way faster when we're forced to do boring tasks such as budgeting. This difficulty is compounded when we have to remember due dates that are months away. They're built for the now, for the immediate rewards. When I struggled, I drowned in shame, thinking I was broken. But the truth hit me. It's not me, it's the tool. Traditional budgeting is the wrong tool for our brains. We're done with the torture. We're building a system that works with our neurology, not against it. So, why does your brain hate spreadsheets? Let's break down exactly why that beautiful color coded spreadsheet becomes a source of shame in about 2 days. It demands the exact executive functions that ADHD makes so difficult. First, planning and organization. To build a budget, you have to predict the future. You have to estimate how much you'll spend on groceries, gas, and fun for the entire month. For an ADHD brain that lives in the now, predicting future spending is like guessing the weather in 3 weeks. It's a best guess that falls apart the moment real life happens. Then there's the invisible labor of tracking. You have to import transactions, categorize every single coffee, and reconcile your accounts. This is a massive time blindness trap. What feels like a 5-minute task turns out into a 45-minute rabbit hole of trying to remember what that big charge from 3 days ago was. Your brain screams, "This is boring," and looks for the nearest dopamine hit, which is usually anywhere but that spreadsheet. But the real torture happens in the moment of spending, decision fatigue. You're at the grocery store, trying to remember your category limits while also managing a shopping list and probably a kid or two. Your working memory, the part of your brain that holds information temporarily, is like a post it note that's already full. Trying to remember, do I have $50 or $75 left for groceries? While also figuring out what's for dinner is like trying to solve a complex math problem while juggling. It's mentally exhausting. That's the real cost. It's not just the money, it's the mental energy, the guilt, the shame of failing something that seems so simple to other people. You didn't fail. The tool failed you. It asked you to use parts of your brain that are simply wired differently. The beautiful part is we can stop fighting our brains. We can build a system that does the heavy lifting for us. So let's talk about the system that actually works. I call it the money container system. The core principle is simple: externalize everything. Don't rely on your memory. Let the system enforce the rules for you. The foundation concept is the envelope method. I know, most people say cash is out, but the envelopes work because they create a physical boundary around your money. You put your cash in bright, obvious envelopes in a safe spot in your home, and you only take the cash you need for the specific task. If I'm going grocery shopping, I don't need to take all my cash. I just take my grocery envelope. This creates a natural, frictionless stop mechanism. When the envelope is empty, you're done. No complicated math, no trying to remember numbers. The boundary is physical and real. your brain doesn't have to work overtime. Now, let's translate that into the digital world because let's be real, we don't live on cash alone. This is where you create digital pots or separate accounts. One account for bills, one account for fun money, and one for savings. You can often set these right up within your bank as sub accounts. Then you automate it. The moment your paycheck hits your main account, you set up an automatic transfer that sends money to each container. This is the magic. The system enforces the rules. You don't have to remember that you only $150 for fun this month. You just look at the fun money account balance. If the money is there, you can spend it. If it's not, you can't. It removes the daily decision making and the guilt. The system does the remembering for you. You're not tracking every penny, you're just checking the container. Is there money in it? It's that simple. This is budgeting without the torture. It takes the cognitive load off of your brain and puts it into a structure that can look and handle it. You get to look at one simple balance instead of trying to track a dozen categories. It gives you the freedom to spend without shame because the boundary is already set. The system has your back. So, what does this look like in practice? Forget overhauling your entire financial life today. That's how we get overwhelmed and quit. I want you to start with just one container. Choose your most problematic spending category, the one that always seems to derail you. For most of my clients, it's either groceries or that impulsive online shopping. Set up one digital pot or even a literal bright envelope for just that category. That's it. You're not building a full budget, you're building one boundary. Now, pair this with the 24-hour rule for any spending decisions in that category. See something you want to buy online? Great. Put it in your cart, take a screenshot, and walk away for 24 hours. You're not saying no, you're just saying not right now. This creates a crucial space for your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and consequences, to actually engage. Most of the time, the dopamine craving passes and you realize you don't actually need. This one shift stops the shame cycle before it even starts. You're making a choice not to react to an impulse. Let's be perfectly clear. Traditional budgeting fails your brain, not the other way around. The solution was never more willpower. It's a better system. You're not the problem. Let's build a financial life that fits you. Until next time, from chaos to control.